continuing with George Herbert Mead, we move on to the concept of self, and that is the social nature of the individuals. We see that the capacity to view oneself as an object in the field of experience is not inborn. That is a part of the learned behavior. Now, since this is part of the learned behavior, now for that purpose, we have to look into the learning situations. And learning situations take place in the company of others where we see that interaction can take place. So that is something which helps in the development of the self. Self might be considered as an image of an individual, the identity of an individual. अपने आप को क्या consider किया जा सकता है as an object, as an entity. So that is something which is developed in the process of interaction, in the process of let's say society, where people interact with each other, and this individual learns what he or she is. So that is that emerges, let's say, later on. It is not there at the time of the birth. So for that purpose, the individual has to be part of the society. If not part of the society, the person is, we don't expect that that person is going to behave like other human beings. And ये इस किस्म की बेसाज एग्जांपल्स आई हैं जहाँ के बच्चे जो हैं वो ह्यूमन सोसाइटी में नहीं हैं, so they did not behave like human beings. So for that purpose, interaction is necessary. So we can say that since it is necessary, it is an image of the individual, but that's not part of the body. That image is developed through interaction with others. It is based on the, let's say, responses of others. How others give a, let's say, evaluation of an individual's behavior or the roles which the person is playing. So we see that interaction is experienced through the exchange of symbols, and for that purpose, ये बात पहले भी हो चुकी है कि interaction के लिए language का होना ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि through language we can communicate, through language we can interpret the gestures, we can interpret the symbols. Through that we can convert these let's say gestures into significant gestures. So the process requires the capacity to use language and to take the role of others. So social self emerges out of the process in which an individual reads the gestures of others, which might be indicating their let's say attitudes, their perceptions. ये तो दूसरे लोग जो हैं उसका रोल जो the person is playing the role in the presence of others. So how adequately that role is being performed depends upon the judgment of the others. Now this judgment जो है, this has to be based on the perceptions of the individual who is performing that role in the company of others. So what is his perception of others? ये बात वही है जो फूले की हमने बात की थी लुकिंग ग्लास सेल्फ की, कि वो दूसरों के एक्शन से इंटरप्रेट कर रहा है कि हाउ ही और शी इज अपीयरिंग in the company of others, how adequately he is performing the role, what are their, let's say, reactions to the performance of, what is their judgment about the performance of those, is it adequate? Is it according to their expectations? And then if it is not according to their expectations, and if the person has to continue to perform that role, then he has to make adjustments accordingly so that he or she becomes participating member of that society. So that is how that situation helps in, let's say, having an estimation of others about individuals, let's say, image. So we see that image of self acts as a stimulus calling for certain response. So we see that emission of gestures enables to take on the role of others. Now that act जो है वो फिर स्टिमुलस बनेगा दूसरों के लिए और उसके बेसिस पे रिस्पॉन्स होगा और it helps in making adjustments in the role in view of the others' reactions as well as about their interpretations. ये looking glass self की बात हुई, उसमें ये बहुत चीजें आई हैं. So we look at the standpoint of others. Now that helps in making an estimation about one's let's say identity. That helps in developing some kind of image about one's appearance in the presence of others, appearance or role performance, and that is how a person develops some kind of self image. That could be superiority, that could be inferiority, that could be anything. तो ये जो रोल परफॉर्म हो रहा है वो एक जगह पे नहीं है, कई जगहों पे होगा. तो वो परफॉर्मेंस जो है that has to be in accordance with the expectations of not only one person but many, let's say, individuals, or in many situations. We can call it as generalized standpoint of the group to which an individual belongs. So individual may belong to one group, could belong to many groups. So he is going to act in accordance with the expectations of others. So whatever he is more like coming up to the standard of that generalized other. Other जो हैं वो क्या expect करते हैं. So he becomes an object to oneself, accepts the attitude of others towards oneself in a particular context. Family में एक किस्म का उसका इमेज हो सकता है, प्लेस ऑफ वर्क पे किसी और किस्म का लेट्स से इमेज हो सकता है, and person may have to, let's say, act in a particular situation according to the generalized other. So there could be multiple situations, multiple contexts, multiple experiences, and multiple attitudes. So on the whole, we see that self is a product of, let's say, this learning behavior, learning process, and which takes place in the company of others. And basically what we are saying is that emerges on the basis of social interaction. Therefore, we say it is social in nature. It is not something which was there at the time of birth. It emerges with the help of, let's say, company of others, let's say, attitudes, others' judgments, and that affects the adjustment of this individual with respect to the image.